Okay, people, so now it is July 26th. Well, it was my last video, July 26th at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's almost noon now. I've been up since 9. Went to sleep probably at about 4:30, 5 o'clock, something like that in the morning. Got up at 9:30. And I'm preparing now, right? So before I go too far, I want to make sure I know how many jars fit in here. So that's all I make. So we're going to do, I'm pretty sure 8 of these. Honestly, I should double check. Oh my God. Anyway, always double check. I'm just going to see. You see, you have to put the lids on them though, right? So hold on a minute. Okay, so we can get 16 anyway or more of these, right? This is the salmon size jar. Beautiful jars. Okay, you want to have those. So we got 8 on the bottom. And then we can do another 8. I just want to make sure I know what I'm working with. And then we've got another 8. And then what I wanted to do, 16 salmon-sized jars, right? I mean, I've got 24 there. And I wanted to get into that black cod, right? So those would fit in there nice if I wanted to do these ones. Otherwise, depending on how far that, like, I don't think 16 jars is going to be enough for 2 of those salmons. I really don't. So I may have to do, so 8, 16, 24. I may have to do 2 cases of salmon jars in this and not worry about the black cod, which is probably still quite frozen at this point. Right? And I've got them here. I've washed them. So we've got them, and then we've got another 24 more jars that Andre went off and bought for the other 2 salmon, right? And then I'm going to use this size, the 250 mil for the blue cod. It's blue cod, which isn't really a codfish, but apparently it's kind of similar tasting and similar texture, but it's not technically from the same fish family. Right? So, and we know it's lower in mercury and it's higher in nutrients. And apparently they're hard to find in the grocery store. So if you find them and you're canning fish, that sounds like a fish that you'd want. So if you ever find them and you're a canner, yeah, you might want to consider doing a few of them. Right? And of course the eyes got worse for whatever strange reason. I don't know what to do about it other than this is probably going to be the last time that I can salmon or any kind of fish for that matter, because I don't need it, okay? And I'm glad I did it when I could see. That's all I can say about that. Remember I said I wanted to find the Criminal Code of Canada? Get ready for the big fight. When I get evicted from my house facing homelessness because of quote-unquote property development that nobody can afford unless they're subsidized by the federal government under those middle-class schemes to get people to purchase, move in first, and then get them to purchase it so that they offload the repairs of those buildings as they deteriorate over time, as also as, you know, being able to justify their scheme. Okay, so now I'm going to fill up the canner with some water, just a little bit. I have my weight. I put on my gauge. I'm going to go into that fridge. I'm going to grab those 2 salmons. I'm going to put them in the sink. I don't know if they're scaled. If they're not scaled, I'm going to have to scale them. And then I'm going to cut them up. And then I'm going to put them into the jars. I've got this pink Himalayan sea salt, because it's half a, it's just 250 mils. Really, you only need a quarter teaspoon of salt or so. Not that I can see this. This says 1/8. You can put a tablespoon of olive oil in it if you'd like. I may or may not do that. I don't know yet. When you do that, when you add in the olive oil, what happens is the olive oil itself, right, adds extra calories. But when you do that, some of the nutrients in the fish is absorbed by the oil, right? So if you don't consume that oil in with your fish after you open up your jar, you're throwing those nutrients away. Okay? I'm just saying. That's what I read. Right? So if you want a little extra calories in there, you could put a tablespoon of oil in it if you wanted to. I'm not going to. You just put your fish in raw, wipe your lids, put your salt in, and you can as is, and whatever liquid is in the salmon is the liquid that will be in the jar. I'm kind of got a bit of a headache from all this stress. I can feel it. I haven't even started my day. This is a 1/2 teaspoon. No, you don't want a 1/2 teaspoon. That's too much salt. If it was a 1/2 pint, I'd say yeah. But it's not a 1/2 pint. It's a 1/4 pint. Well, it's a 1/4 of a liter. That's a 1/4 of a quart. And for whatever strange reason, I can't seem to find my measuring spoons. Isn't that just lovely? That's another 1/2. What am I doing? Andre likes to come in here and move things around for me. I have to wash this whole thing. I'm pretty sure that's a 1/2 teaspoon too. Yeah. Oh my lord. All 1/2 teaspoons. Here we go. There's a 1/4 right there. So I'll wash that. I'm not going to put olive oil in it. I'm just going to leave it as is. And so we'll be back with the fish. Okay, so I'm by my kitchen sink. I don't know, people. Remember that doctor wanted to do that Roto-Rooter 2 weeks after I seen him on July. I seen him on June 7th. I told him I couldn't. But I don't know. Anyway. Alright. Let's just... We got $51 and a few cents of 2 salmon right now that have been frozen and were previously thawed. Alright. Well, they kind of came in... Well, they were, like, unthawed, but they were iced, so... How unthawed, I don't know. Alright. And as for the blue cod, they're half unthawed, half frozen. As for the other 2 salmon, they're still fairly frozen. Okay? So that's good. That's good. I don't have to do those other salmon until tomorrow. But if I can, you know, do a little bit of that. Yeah, these have been scaled. This is good. If I can do some of that blue cod, even half of it, that'd be great. So I'm hoping... Nice! It appears to be... see, I can't wear glasses doing shit like this. And when that doctor changed that cataract lens, he made everything blurry. It never used to be blurry. Yeah, it was dark, and cloudy, but things weren't blurry. Since he changed my cataract lens, everything went blurry. And if I try and use glasses of any kind, doing this kind of stuff, I can't, because it just doesn't work. It's all blurry, and it's getting worse, and just whatever. Okay. So this is, like I said, probably the last time that I'll be canning at least fish. I don't think it will be the last time I'll be canning something this year, but honestly, I don't necessarily expect to do this next year. I don't. I don't think I'm going to make it that far, people. I don't. Not for this kind of stuff, that's for sure. So I don't know. I ask myself, why, God, why? Why are you doing this to me? You know, but then I remind myself, lots of people go blind. I'm not the only one. So I'm not the first, and I won't be the last. Right? People go blind for different freaking reasons, so. Okay. So now we're just going to wash it out of this. I don't smell anything, so that's good. Like, it doesn't smell really fishy or anything, so that's good. Which tells you they're still fairly fresh. Okay? We're going to go on this side of the sink. We're just going to rinse them off as fast as we can. Then we're going to cut off the fins, the tail. These are nice. Now, I don't cut fish very well, but I'm just going to cut it. But these are big, so I don't know how they're going to fit in the jar, honestly. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Might, yeah. I just have to cut them to the right size. So I kind of wanted to talk about little Peter here for a little bit. You know, he's on my mind, right, people? Little boy sitting up in Uganda. You know, born to circumstances, no fault of his own in terms of poverty, with a corrupt government to which the Ugandan youth, the young people, I guess in their 20s and that kind of thing. Andre, get me a cutting board, please. Are protesting right now. I think between Kenya, now I have to find a knife that actually works. Between Kenya and Uganda, they're starting to rally against anti-government with their corruption. They're being, yeah. Okay, thanks. So, you know, I'm torn because, you know, I've been watching these other videos where they're, you know, recording in Kampala, which is the capital of Uganda, a big bustling city where clearly there's lots and lots of money, and there's no reason for, oh, I don't know what the percentage is. I think it's 30% in the rural country areas, if not more, no, 50%. Anyway, in the villages and places like that, the poverty level for children is extremely high, and it's not what we're familiar with when it comes to the Western definition of poverty. In Uganda, it kind of goes down to no food, no water, limited subpar shelter, as some people are being evicted from their homes for various different reasons, as the government is going in and bulldozing down whole communities, which is pushing even more poor people into poverty, living among the rubble, right? You know, and they've got children anywhere from 1 to 7 children per household. Many of these people, you know, their husbands, women, their husbands left them, and, you know, because, you know how men are, right? When times get tough, many of them just leave, right? And then the women are left holding the bag. And so anyway, little Peter, you know, and then we've got the child trafficking, which is going on for different reasons, right? Poverty is one factor, right? I don't know. I don't know if witchcraft is a religion, but you know, there's an aspect where children are sacrificed through witch doctors so that families can gain wealth. That's what they think, right? And then we've got, I'm almost positive, Soji in there now, because we've got this building boom with all these different ethnic groups going into Uganda, making investment, but it's like anywhere they go, they bring their criminal activity, whether for self-gratification or whether for illegal organ harvesting, to launder through the black market through funneling it into the housing market, just whatever. And I'm like, oh my God. So, needless to say, I think about little Peter, right? And his precarious future. So, I'm still kind of thinking to do that donation, at least for the floor rugs, and a couple of solar-powered lanterns, so they're not sitting in the dark after the sun goes down. And at least that will, I guess if you put in a cement floor, it helps to keep the home warmer, because a dirt floor, I don't know. I would think that cement would be colder, but with cement you can keep it cleaner, right? That's the thing. You can keep it cleaner, and you know, it cuts down on sickness. Because the mom can keep it cleaner. Mama Peter can keep it cleaner. Right? Put on some throw rugs, mats, or whatever they use out there. They make mats with whatever they use. They're quite nice, you know, just to take the hardness and the coldness off the feet, and to warm up the home a little bit. So, and then of course a little bit of food you have to throw in there. Alright, money for a little bit of food, you know. I don't know. So anyway, I did email Lady Jane. Told her I'm still thinking about it. Told her that I'm annoyed. Obviously, she would know that by now. I told her that I'm working on booking a park event in August of 2025. And maybe some other events in like a hall party or two or whatever. And then if, you know, if I get that far and I'm successful at doing that, you know, I would consider asking for help for little Peter and his family, right? Especially if I'm going to start rocking with the Africans out here. I'm just saying, you know, because I invited them to participate with what Papa Riley and I are working on when it comes to events. So, those guys across the street, I know they jump on board with that if I can, you know, do that, right? So, you know, let's just say we have a hall party, you know, and we have a little tape, because it would be done through the foundation, right, people? And we have a little table for general information, whatever, And, you know, that's where I'd say, you know, I'd have something saying we have a family in Africa that we adopted, basically. Well, really a community. Because I would want to, obviously, we need to take care of little Peter and his family. But we have to build in something for the whole community. Somehow, some way. I don't know what it is yet, but, so, you know, in a situation like that, that's where it goes back to that default. If we could send $8,000, $10,000 to the community so that more than one family can be helped, or they have money to create a commodity where they can start manufacturing it, growing it, whatever it is, so that they can make an income to build in their own charitable initiatives, like, say, a food bank or something like that, right? For emergency purposes, so that families like Mama Peter don't fall through the cracks in these rural areas, despite what's going on in the bigger cities, because what's going on in the bigger cities is deceiving, and they're like any other city, for the most part, when you've got ethnic groups, different ethnic groups coming in from all over and establishing their own communities, right? So you got the Somalians setting up their own communities. You got the Ethiopians setting up their own communities. You've got I'm just taking off a few scales here that might be left behind. You've got, you know, the Kenyans setting, or whatever, right? Everybody, you've got the white people setting up their own community. You know, it's like out here. You've got the Chinese over in Richmond. You've got the Punjabis in Surrey, all over the place, really. But they're really concentrated in Surrey as they're branching out. You've got the Muslims all banding together with their mosques, and, you know, and sure, they go shopping and they bump into each other, but they don't support each other. You know, they don't support the one cause for the province of British Columbia, Canada. They kind of put that full burden on the government, right? I already expressed that to you in one of my videos, how they perceive what should happen to poor people and who should look after them, right? Because their goal is to come and establish their own community and, you know, their own political system to one degree or another, so that they can secure wealth, generational wealth, right? Well, that's what's going on in Uganda. Yeah. Well, the poorest of the poor, which would be the Ugandan children, are up on the chopping block, people. If bad people can get away with it, right? In terms of, I'm sure it's going on. Oh yeah. Those children are way too vulnerable. Way too vulnerable. So, this is where it would benefit to help a whole community. But, I mean, what you want and what you can accomplish are two different things, right? So for now, I just kind of want to follow through on what I said I was going to do. Because, ain't nobody else. I don't like it when scales start flying in my face. Nobody else is going to do it at this point. So I don't know. But for anything in the future, I mean, like, they're always going to need food to one degree or another, I would think. It's not something that I want to take on for the rest of my life, especially with me going blind. I can't promise anything here. But I can probably follow through on the floor and the rugs in the lantern. And I asked Lady Jane why she... Oh, there's the phone. Answer the phone, Andre. Okay? I guess I'll turn this off and I'll come back. Who is it?
Rhea.
Rhea?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a minute. Okay, we just got this teetering here. There we go. I might be getting some pears in the near future. Yeah, apparently Rhea's got access to a pear tree. So, that would be good. Really, really good. Because if she said the tree is full. It's just this, people. This is what I mean. My life is being cut short here. Like, I just sat down, talked to Rhea on the phone, looked at the computer, and my eyes are like womped. Completely womped. Like, it's so freaking frustrating. But so anyway, if she gives, and she's gonna give me a few plums. So depending on what's going on there, you know, I might be canning some plums here. But definitely when the pears start dropping, because apparently she has a big tree. So I would do that. Pears are a little complicated because you have to peel them. Well, they're not complicated. They just take a little longer, right? You have to peel them and put them in lemon water. Oh, come on, man. Give me a knife. You have to put them in lemon water. Obviously, I'm not very good at this, right? I have so many knives, it gets mixed up, that's why. I'm just trying to find the right size on this. As long as you get it in a jar, it's all that matters. The bowls disintegrate anyway. Okay, well, we're just gonna see. So you see, with this cataract lens, because everything got blurry with it, it makes it harder to see. And then, of course, I'm probably losing more of these octave nerves, right? In terms of, you know, look at that. Where am I? Here we go. Right? And then, let's see. Oh, my Lord. There we go. Nice. Fits in really, really nice, people. Look at that. That is nice. So that's the size I want. And if I do these two salmon, I can see already, because you know, oh, that went in tight. I just want to get the same size. I can see already that I have to do by finger, not by sight. I'm not going to get that many jars as I thought I would with these two salmon. But what I am going to get, I'm going to be very happy with. Oh yeah. I got 3 so far. Yeah, 3 jars. But these are full. If I was to weigh this, I should weigh it, honestly. And you'll see, you'll get more in the jar than if you got it in a can. But I just want to get this over with, as if I want to start weighing. I don't. And it did help to buy this, by the way. I'm working on clearing out stuff and got me motivated. It did what it was supposed to do. Okay? Right? It did what it was supposed to do. In terms of motivating me, start moving around, bending, lifting, pulling, whatever. Organizing, sorting out. Right? Being productive. Oh. I told Rhea about the Africans next door and how they want to get involved with the foundation. And if that happens, then that's when I'd be like, well, okay, you're from Africa, all different parts, right? In terms of, you know, they're coming together. Let's fundraise for Mama Peter and Little Peter and his family. And if we can come in with a big donation where we can help with the building up the community as a whole with a commerce of some kind where they all start to benefit from it, that'd be grand. Like, kind of like an adopt a family situation. Okay? So how many pieces do we got here? Whew. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are nice. These are really nice people. No regrets. 4, 5. I'm going to have to just sliver that off a bit. 6. And then just a little bit of ends there. So we're looking at 6. Just take off a little bit. And put it in the other jar. I don't know if that will. Okay, so we'll just try it out. 6. 6. And then these pieces here, just piece it in, right? So 7. So 7 and 7, 14 jars. That's not bad. And then we've got this one, which is the same size. So, yeah, about 14 jars. So that's not bad. And because the other 2 salmon are completely frozen at this point, I can do the 12 jars of blue cod. And then tomorrow, I'm going to be babysitting Rhea's children for a couple of hours. But I'll work on the other salmons. And if there's any other blue cod left. Right? And then it'll be done. By tomorrow, this will be done. And it'll be great. And then I'll be thinking about fruit. Yeah. However, and I won't be paying for none of the fruit, whether it comes from the apple tree, whether it comes from Rhea, in terms of those pears. Because once they start dropping, she's not going to need them all. She can bring me some. And if I can get 12 jars of pears, well, I can still see. Isn't that sad when I say that? While I can still see, and it's not what you think I see, okay? I can sort of see. Right? So, yeah. This is great. I'm so happy I did this now. It's not as daunting as I thought it was going to be. Cutting the fish is probably the hardest thing for me. That's it. Like, these are nice and solid fish. Yeah. Oh my Lord. I kind of mucked up that one. But that's okay. Oh Lord. What happened? In part because I can't see, and in part I suppose the knife is not sharp enough. I got other knives over there, but I don't want to dig for them. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. So Lady Jane said that she's going to do the follow-up video with the last $200 that I just recently sent her about 2 weeks ago for the food, because the food ran out. Because, you know, Peter's been feeding the kids in the neighborhood as they were walking by or coming by to play with the kids. And, you know, that's another reason I'm thinking to do this floor, because if I do this floor for her, I mean, obviously that's going to be better for the family in general. Let's just face it, okay? And maybe she can open up a part-time daycare with lunch included. Yeah, that might be a better job for her. See, I like to cut these things when they're partially frozen. So maybe what I might do after this is canned, because this is I'm kind of breaking up the flesh a bit. Right? But that's okay. I don't know what other knife to use. Maybe I'm using the wrong knife. Let's try this one. Oh God, that one's even worse. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. It's just salmon. I like to cut these when they're partially frozen. Right? So after these are canned, I think I'm going to take the time to cut the other fish that's frozen right now and get it ready for tomorrow. And they'll cut better, more than likely. It's just it's hard on the hands. See, this one turned out okay. It's harder on the hands, right? Because it's cold, eh? But other than that, it cuts better when it's partly frozen or, well, half frozen. Versus completely unthawed with a dull knife or whatever you're doing here. Oh my God. This is nice, people. This is nice. No regrets. Absolutely none. I just don't know where I'm going to put these jars. That's my next dilemma. So I have to put them in my room. There's too much shit in my room. I gotta start selling off my clothes and shit. My shoes, my jackets. I got some really nice stuff. Some of my jewelry, maybe. As if in all the years you've been watching my videos, when have you ever seen me wear my earrings, my necklaces? Right? Once in a blue moon you'll see me wear my rings if I'm running off to go file a lawsuit, but other than that, you know, or back in the day when I used to go out and dress up a little bit for some community activism, but I don't get outside very much, so that doesn't work. So what I'm going to do, as soon as I'm done this little piece, I'm going to wash my hands. Well, no. I'm going to fill up the jars. Well, no. I'm going to wash my hands, then I'm going to fill up the jars. I'll wipe the rims, and then I'll turn the camera back on to show you how many of these that I got. Or actually, I should put these in the fridge oops, right now, so they're nice and cold, and work on the blue cod first before I put everything into the jar. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And in this way, that stays nice and cold, because it's going to take me a little while to do the blue cod. And in terms of scrap, out of those two fish with the fins, wasn't very much. Yeah. Maybe the cats will eat it, I don't know. Okay. Two fish so far. Okay, it's just teetering, right? So, last time I'll be canning fish. Unless, of course, I really like this blue cod. If I really like it, and I think it's worth it, this bag of this fish, you can see, that's a fair amount, was $6.32. I guess I missed the sale, because it was supposed to be on sale, but because I ordered late, I guess the sale is off. Right. Per 100 grams, 80 calories. Alright, so what do you look like? So I've got 2 bags here, which should be enough to fill up 12 jars. Or less. That's what it looks like. It's supposed to be already pre-gutted. I don't know. Doesn't seem like... Oh, I don't want to have to gut it. God. I don't know. What did they do here? I think there's guts in this. As if I can see guts. Okay, this is a big one. I'm sticking my hand in there. So I guess the guts are out. And the rest is all solid fish. So that's a... unless... I don't know. I guess I'll find out when I cut it. You would think that there would be something in there. Oh yeah, it goes all the way down. Okay, and these are partly frozen, so they'll cut really nice. Yeah, they're gutted. So I just have to take off the little fins for the most part. Yeah, that's easy peasy. They don't have scales on them. So that was just 3 fish. Right. I try so hard not to get angry with what's going on with my eyes. and not take it personal with those energy weapons. Because you know I've been shot with them for probably too many times to count, especially in this yard. Okay, so that was easy. Here's a little one right here. They'd probably cook up anyway, but we're going to cut them off just because they're spiky. All right. Now, sometimes people brine their fish with salt water, but I'm not going to do that. Especially if you're getting into shrimp and crab, and you need to brine it first, let it sit in the brine. Okay, so where are these tall ones? Right here. So, we just get an idea of where we need to cut. Probably right about there. Oh yeah, much easier when it's half frozen. You heard that. That went right through. About an inch head space or so. Yeah. I'm using a different knife. This is maybe the knife I should have been using. Look at how nice that is. Can you see? And because these are slightly frozen, I can just put them in the jar right now. Maybe still a little too high. Just sliver off a piece. Right. Can't see, people. Oh my God, where did it go? Where did the other piece go? Here it is. Look at that. That's going to be nice. So actually I could probably do the majority of these jars. Like, you know, like all this fish at one time. I can probably do all this fish at one time. I think what I bought will be perfect for 12 jars. So if that's the case, I will do all these at one time. And then all I got left are the 2 salmon. And they're still quite frozen, but after I'm done canning, I'm going to cut them and put them back in the fridge, so that when I'm ready for them tomorrow, they're already pre-cut, and I won't be bruising the meat. Right? Yeah. So how do you think I'm going to keep myself busy when I go blind? What the hell am I going to do? Huh? I don't know. So let me do this. That's a nice big one. And then I'll come back. I'll probably do all 4 bags. I'll start filling up the jars as I'm cut up these ones, fill up the jars and see how many jars are left, and if I got room for more, I'm going to do more. Hold on. Okay, so I got 12 jars and 2 pieces. They're in the sink here somewhere down there. See? I'm going to fry those up. I might even use that turkey fat with a bit of seasoning salt, and then squeeze on some fresh lemon. I'll let you know how it is. So this is the blue cod, to which, honestly, I'm thinking to order 4 more bags. I have to see if I have money in my account to do that. If I have money in my account to do that, I'm going to get them delivered tomorrow. And And then when I do the next 2 salmons, I'm going to do 12 more. I like it. Okay. And then we got 14 jars of the sockeye salmon, right? Much more than 213 grams, I'm sure, in terms of weightage. But, yeah, 14 jars, and we still have those 2 frozen ones in the fridge. And one of them came in at $30, so you're almost looking at £1 more. So the next one, this is 14 jars. 10, yeah, 14 jars. 14 jars. I'm pretty sure 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, 14 jars. So that's not too bad. The canner can fit 16 of them. So now I'm going to wipe the rims. Oh, yes, and I have to wash the lids yet. I haven't washed the lids because I wasn't too sure how many lids I needed. And when you wash lids, you have to air dry them. Otherwise, they start to rust if they sit too long, right? And then you wipe the jars with the good old vinegar, which I just had, and I lost it. But besides that point, I'll find it. So hold on. Okay, so we're almost ready to go. So before you put your lids on, you know, you have to wash everything because these things are like preserved with, you know, formaldehyde and all that. You know, whenever they're just bagging it up and, you know, and putting it in cargo ships and stuff. I have Andre look at these lids. Apparently there's a little scratch here and a little scratch there. So before you start putting your lids on, make sure you look and see because sometimes they're compromised. So apparently he found some spots there that were compromised. So we're not going to use those for canning. Now, the only thing that I did different here, people, is I added a tablespoon of water. Okay, we did a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and then a tablespoon of water, right? Just because I like my liquid. Now, whether it's too much and it overflows and it siphons out, it's hard to say. Probably not, because normally you don't put water in it, but you can put a tablespoon of olive oil in it. So instead of the olive oil, I put a tablespoon of water in everything. Now, I am going to get these ready, get them in the pressure canner, and I'm going to phone and I'm going to see if I can pick up. I'm going to first see if I have a little bit of money, right? And after they run, you know, because they're double billing me, and I did 2 orders, so, you know, I might be too deep into my overdraft. But if everything's starting to balance out and I got credited and blah, then I think before I can the next 2 salmons, I'd like to order 4 more bags of this blue cod. Yeah, I do. And I think I'm going to do that today and get them delivered tomorrow. And then when I can the salmon, I'm going to do the same thing. Because Andre went and got me a case of jars. And I already had these size jars. So I've got the jars, right? And we only used, so far, so far only 14 salmon-sized jars, right? So really, that isn't, where can I put this? Maybe here? That isn't, sure. Huh. Now you see I'm stiff. Hurts to bend. Oh my God. See, did you hear my bones pop? It's because I'm getting old. Right? I'm always on my feet. So anyway, 110, 100 minutes. I'll probably give it 110. Some books say 100, some books say 110. If these were pint-sized jars, definitely 110. Right? But I want a good seal, so I'll probably do it for 110 minutes. Not a 1 hour and 10 minutes, 110 minutes. So that's 150 minutes. That's what that is. Okay. 110 minutes. Yeah. Anyway. Wipe the rims. And then if I can get more of this blue cod, which I probably can, the next batch, I'm going to put a tablespoon of olive oil in with it instead of water. right? I think the blue cod would go very well with bean burgers or potato burgers. I really do. I left 2 pieces out to fry it up. I'm debating whether I should fry it in butter or if I should fry it with that turkey fat. I think I'm going to do the turkey fat because that turkey fat fries really well, man. It sizzles. It sizzles. It doesn't fry like oil. No. And it doesn't fry like lard either. It stays. It doesn't really go away. So I like that, right? And it's so tasty. So I think that with a little bit of seasoning salt and then just a tad bit of lemon juice after the fact, I think it's going to be delicious, to be honest with you. And I was impressed basically with the fish itself in terms of working with it. The only thing that I found is it had little fins underneath them where they kind of ran in a row. I tried to cut off as much fins as I could. I don't know if fins soften up as if, you know, you were, what do you call it? As if you were, you know, like the bones soften up, right? So I don't know if bones, fish bones react the same way. So I tried to cut off as much fins as I could. But again, I don't see, a lot of this is all done by brain, right? By brain. Oh my God, what's the matter with this? By brain, memory, from doing it so many times. Oops, that's not right. Memory by doing it so many times that, you know, my goal is just to get them in the jars, can it, be happy. So far with 2 salmon for 50 bucks, I got 14 jars. I'm sure they're more grammage than what you would buy in a can. If I had to buy the same Sockeye salmon, I gotta think, same Sockeye salmon at Walmart, assuming I could find them, I'd be paying $4.99 a can for 213 grams, and it would cost me 50 bucks, something like that. 50 bucks. 50 bucks for 10 cans. These fish costed me 50 bucks for the 2 fish, and I got 14 jars with, I'm positive, more grammage in the jar. Okay? If I wanted to, I could have put in the olive oil for the extra nutrients, but I think I'm just going to keep the salmon pretty generic. Although I could try, if maybe next time I'll do half. Maybe I'll try 6 jars with the next batch. I don't ever recall adding olive oil when I'm canning salmon in the past. Right? Sardines obviously is nice, right? I think this blue cod will handle that really well. Right? I did some with the mackerel the last time I did fish, and I think I did some with pink salmon too, right? Now, if I bought these at Canadian Superstore, they sell them at $5.99 a can. It would have costed me $60 bucks. It would have costed me 60 bucks to get 10 cans. Which again would more than likely be lower in grammage than what I've got in these jars. Now mind you, I didn't weigh them, but these are bigger than a can, people. You get more in. Right? So once you invest in your jars, and if you're using your jars over and over again, that's when it really starts to pay off. Or unless, of course, you go fishing, or somebody's bringing you fish because they went fishing. Then it even becomes more cost-saving, because you know, you'll have the jars. because the jars can last for 50, 100 years. Right? As long as you look after them. They last a long, long time. They're made to last. I still have a few jars from my mom when she canned. Back in the day. Yeah, when I was 10. Canning fruit with her. Yeah. So I'm pretty happy with this. Gotta be careful you don't chip them. Try not to chip your jars. Once you chip them, you kind of ruin them. No. So, what? When I go blind, I'm going to write songs about canning salmon? What do you think? When I was younger, I used to try and write songs, write music. When I would play guitar, I tried to write the notes down as I was playing. And I tried to write words, but never worked. It didn't work for me. Why am I short a couple lids here? I'm short some lids. I lost them. Where did I lose them? No. I don't know. I have to go find. That's odd. Maybe I lost more than that. Shy one rim. So look at that. That's some good stuff in there. Okay, so I have a little wiggle room. Alright, as long as I get my rent paid. Alright, juggling bills, okay, as usual. Anyway, it's coming in, this whole blue cod, which I'm kind of fascinated with it. It's coming in at $3 a pound, people. What I bought, it costed me 20 bucks. That was it, okay? And I got 12 jars at 250 mil, approximately, okay? So you're looking at maybe 225, you know, in terms of weight, I suppose, right? That's more than what you'd get with sardines. At $2 a can for sardines, for 20 bucks, you'd only get 10 cans. So double the money with the cod, which is more nutritional, I would think, than the sardines, right? And also it's kind of versatile because it's supposed to be kind of mild. So, you know, there's things you could maybe do different with it. I don't know. So anyway, I'm going to order 4 more, and I'm going to do the same thing that I did today. This will be delivered to me tomorrow. The only problem is it will be frozen, but if I leave it out in the air, it will start to defrost faster. So yeah, now they have new deals. It's a new week, right? So I should probably just take a boo at their flyer and see what they've got going with their flyer for just something cheap and simple. Because otherwise I'm just going to get 4 bags of chips delivered. What is this? Hot deal. It looks like meat. Do you see that? $1.99. What is that? Whole pork picnic. Oh, I don't want to start canning pork. And pork is fatty, but you get to render. You get to render the fat, people. Oh my God. It's only $15.10 at $1.99 a pound. Honestly, that's when you want to buy it. And I can render the fat.
I'll be right back, okay?
Yeah.
Dude wants to just talk to me fast.
And my son will be like, I thought you said you were coming downstairs, and I'll be like, yeah, but I'm weak.
No.
What?
Jude wants to tell me something. He wants to give me my batteries back because I accidentally gave him some. It's chargeable ones, the ones that we got.
Amari has his milk?
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Okay. Whether I defat it, render the lard, grind up the meat with the whatever bits of fat, because it's fatty, right? And then freeze it, or whether I defat it, cut it into chunks. It's hard to get the fat out of it though, right? That is better to grind up and freeze. Or I could defat it, render the lard, right? That's always good to have, okay? And grind it up. Means I have to pull out my meat grinder, but that's okay. And then cook it up to degrease it with some water, and just fry it with some water. Let it cool down, but make sure there's, a fair amount of water, right? Put it in the fridge. Let the grease come to the surface. Skim off the grease. And then you've got the gelatin with the meat that you can heat up and then put in the canner. And it would be ground pork, degreased, with really, 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 really delicious broth. And because it's only $15 at a, okay, whatever I'm doing, I'm pretty sure I could probably get a few jars of potatoes in there as well. Even though, a quart-sized jar of potatoes is 40 minutes, it wouldn't matter if it, well, I don't know if it would make a difference being in the pressure canner for 75 versus 40. I'm trying to think what else I could put in there for 75 minutes. Because you'd have to do it for at least 75 minutes for pint, right? Oh my God. Do you see how I get myself into trouble? It's hard to pass it up when it's $1.99 though. What's this? That looks like bread. Hold on a minute. Wait, I got some really bad news here. Like, it's crazy out here, I'm telling you. Andre's little friend Jude, right? I guess he went out and about in the community on his bike. He's 13, right? He was by himself, and he got jumped by 4 teenagers that had the knuckle things on there, and they punched him out. They knocked him completely out on the streets. He's in the hospital right now, going in and out of consciousness, slurring his words, and is confused and whatever. And they stole his phone, his iPad, or whatever he had, they stole it. And just left him there. And these are the teenagers that go to the school right next to the school that these boys, Jude and his cousin go to, Blake, who just got punched out by teenagers. Like, so now Jude's not allowed to go out. Neither is Andre. Because that's how messed up it is, people. As they're, what did Jude say they're doing at the school, in his school, in elementary school? These kids, whoever, right? Kids, okay? Grabbing them by the neck, pulling them up, and then slamming them down into the ground. This is happening in elementary school, while the little older teenagers, the 15 and 16-year-olds, are running around attacking the 13 and 14-year-olds and 12-year-olds, because I've had problems with Andre being chased. As we've got parents next door in subsidized housing over there teaching their 12-year-olds to be the next generation of bullies, as this boy and the mother, Andre went the other day to go knock on Jude's door, and as soon as he showed up, she opened up her door saying, "I'm going to call the cops, get out of here." While her son is calling Andre the N-word right? The nigger with the slur of, oh, there goes the fire boy. You better get out of here because I'm going to call the cops. Because I said, Andre, if she starts with her nonsense, just don't say nothing. Don't be rude. Don't posture. You know, just, right? Let her say what she's got to say and then walk away. Anyway, we're going to leave it for a while before he goes back and knocks on the door. And I guess he's seen management, and management actually waved at Andre. So even though she didn't call me back, you know, I mean, like, she's not stupid. Clearly this woman has a problem, and she's teaching her kid how to bully, right? You know, at a very, very, very early age, as she uses cops as a shield to bully, right? And I said, well, geez, Andre, you know, 7 months are going to go by. How long can she keep saying, I'm going to call the cops for something you didn't do? Because if you really did do it, she should have called the cops on you that day and reported you on that day. All right? She's lying. That's why she ain't coughing up her witnesses, none of that crap. She didn't see shit, right? She's just teaching her son how to be a freaking bully. That's all. That's all it is, right? And keeping Jude on lockdown in a complex that he's been living in for freaking years. You know, it's stupid. As these kids are going out in the community, you know, and being jumped. Or they're being jumped in school. Yeah. With those brass knuckle things. Right? If they're not carrying knives. Like, seriously. So anyway, because I'm thinking about that pork, right? I don't know what to do with it. I don't really have any room in my freezer. I mean, it would be simple enough just to cut off the fat, render the fat. That's easy enough to store in jars. And then grind up whatever's left and freeze it. That would be fine if I could find freezer space, but I'm kind of full with the freezer space. Or, like I said, I can cook it with some water, degrease it after the fact, and then reheat it up and then jar it. But it wouldn't be enough to you know, you want to make your canner kind of worthwhile. So I looked at the pork. There was like frozen tenderloin at $3 a pound, but honestly I don't really need it. And if I was to buy anything, it would be beef. Only just for regular stewing beef, you're looking at $8.99 a pound. As if. So I'm looking at this beef short ribs braising. I could can it with the bones and all, and it's on sale. You can see you're saving $6 approximately and 48 cents. So if I was to buy 2 of those and that pork, then I could do a canner full of that basically and call it a day, because those would can up nice with those bones. It would make really good broth. And you cut, fill up your jar. Oh yeah, that would be really good, I think so. So, and when does the sale end? On the 31st, right? And how many pounds approximately? Average weight. Well, there you go. It's not even very much, right? 1 key is 2.2 pounds. So we're looking at maybe 1 pound. So if I did 2 pounds, that might get me 4 jars at pint size with whatever miscellaneous ground pork after the fact of being completely degreased. Then it would kind of make sense. And I'm weak, so I don't want to be bending and lifting and pulling and struggling and carrying and, you know, I don't, right? Like, I just, not now. I'm weak, man. I can only handle so much. So it's regular $8.99 a pound, but because it's on sale, right? So maybe we'll get 2 of them. Let's see how much my bill is. Because I don't have that, but that would be nice for a soup or something like that. Because you're locking in the juices right into the jar from the bones. Yeah. And because there's really nothing else that I need, people, I'm telling you. And that's why I'm getting so angry with my son. Starting to throw things out, making that threat. Oh, well, we need to maybe start thinking about getting rid of some of this old food. No, shut up. Like, just fucking, you held it hostage for me for 2 fucking years in that area. Like, you never even gave me a chance to look for even 1 minute. And when I was ready to go in, right, I couldn't. And then I got raided. And now you're still raiding me. Anyway, we got the 4 fish for tomorrow. And even if I don't get to canning tomorrow because I'm going to help Rhea with her kids for a few hours, that salmon is still fairly frozen. I could do it on Sunday. And that would give a day for that to defrost. Either or, it wouldn't matter. Whether tomorrow or the next day, I got another full canner. And only this time, I'm going to put olive oil with them. I'm curious to see that. I think this is a good buy. I really do. And then we've got this just because it's coming in at $1.99. And, you know, pork fat, once you jar it up and seal it and everything, it stays really good for a long, long, long time. And the ground up, degreased, jarred up, however, frozen, doesn't matter. It's worth it for $1.99. No substitutes. I don't want substitutes. Forget the substitutes. Give me what I want or I don't want it. And then just for the sake of the canner, if I decide to can that pork after I'm done doing whatever I'm doing with that, I just want a couple of extra jars to fill it up. Technically, I should probably get 3 of these because I don't have that in terms of, I don't have it. Right? Just put it on me for a minute and I'm going to end this video because I got to start this canner, but I'm waiting for the doctor to call me. But I have to get this canner going. I had to take a break because my back is killing me. My legs are weak because I'm getting old. Right, that's what it is. I'm getting old. That's normal. And I work too hard. Hold on a minute. Okay, so I'm going to just finish this video. Everything's in the canner. I'm going to start any minute, right? I'm supposed to get this phone call. Don't be surprised if my phone doesn't ring. With this doctor doing a telephone thing because of Mari's situation there, to which he's had a better disposition today. But we're not, you know, we're not done with that situation in terms of I have to hold him on that little toilet and whatever. Now, in terms of that beef with the bones, like, I'm actually intrigued with that. Honestly, I'm kind of intrigued because then if I do that and I can it in pint-sized jars, right, and I got some here, I'm sure of it, that's where you're going to be coming in with that rich, deep bone broth. Right in the jar. That'd be very nutritional. Yeah. So maybe I'm going to get 3 of them because that's only a pound. So that's about 3 pounds. Maybe 3.5 pounds, right? Give or take. That's half a pound per jar. Well, 500 mils is almost a pound. So I might get 3-4 jars. If I stretch it, add more liquid, I'll get 5 with the bones, which will bring in the deeper bone broth. Cooked right into the broth, right, like right into the liquid. That would be nice, I think. And I don't have that. See how I'm justifying it? I don't have that. Right? So why not? And it's on sale. I don't want to pay $8.99 for regular old stewing beef. I got plenty of that. I don't need it. But I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with that pork yet. And the only reason I'm buying it is because, 1, it's $1.99 a pound, and 2, it just kind of helps to keep me grounded, keep focusing on organizing a few things in the kitchen. Like, I did get motivated and move some things around, and it did what it was supposed to do. And I'll get one more jug of milk, because I think the milk is getting low. But other than that, people, there's nothing else that I need. No. When you get to that point, that's a nice feeling. It really is. And, like, I am so looking forward to when I get to making these bean burgers with or without potatoes in them. Like, you don't even know. I just don't have the time yet. Right? Because, you know, busy, eh? But we will be. So I'll just get one milk. Yeah. That's it. Everything else is fine right now. So my bill in this situation is only $78, and then add in $6 for delivery. And because I'm using pint-sized jars, it's only 75 minutes. So those short ribs, the short ribs are coming in at $39. But I like the idea of what I'm doing there. The picnic thing there, picnic shoulder roast there is $15. You can really stretch that out. And then the fish is coming in at $18.51, give or take a few dollars, because they do it by weight, but it's at $3 a pound. And I'm going to use olive oil, which is going to increase the calorie count on it. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'll have that all done within, in terms of canned, within 3 days. From the time I get it tomorrow. I don't have to worry about it no more. Next time I see fish, doesn't matter what it is, pink salmon, sockeye salmon, blue cod, mackerel. I could have bought mackerel, but I didn't, because I have, right? I have it in cans, and I can my own, so I'm satisfied with that, right? You can only bend, lift, pull, carry, right, for so long. You know, you have to give your body time to rest. And this eye situation, oh yeah, which I was thinking about, I don't want no substitutes. Give me what I want, or don't give it to me. Yeah. What am I going to do with my canners? I have 2 pressure canners, well actually 3, 2 big pressure canners, one with a gauge, and I bought a new gauge. I bought the new rubber rim as backup, plus the little plugs, right? And I've got my old pressure canner from when I first started out with Uncle John, that's still in good shape. And then I've got a small pressure canner that's still in the box that I bought when Uncle John was around. And I've never opened it, people. It's for like cooking on the stove. I might try it at some point, but you know, and then we've got that other water bath, and then I've got my water bath canners yet too, right? And then I bought that new one where it reads on the dial when you get to the right pressure. I did a video on that. I haven't used it yet. If I get tomatoes, or when I'm doing fruit, if I'm doing like blackberries or something, then we'll pull out that canner that I haven't used yet to teach Andre about pressure in a canner, because that's basically what I bought it for. And but after I can't do it no more, people, what am I going to, all my lids, everything, what am I going to do with it? You know, like, what am I going to do with it? Give it away? Sell it? Do you honestly think my kids are going to use it? I bought 2 Ohio stoneware 2-gallon crock pots with the weights and the lids, which is extremely expensive to buy. One for my son, one for me. One is downstairs in Auntie Shemai's room. One is upstairs. I really like it. Those things are like, they come from Ohio, and they're specially made. And they're expensive, and you don't want to just toss them off to the side. And my son's not showing no interest in any of that. Well, what am I going to do with that? I don't know. That's the sad part about going blind. That's the sad part about going blind. I don't know. So we'll get this delivered between 11:30 and 12:30 tomorrow, in terms of the fish and the meat, because we've got the fish, but I'm going to be babysitting for a little while, so we'll just see how it goes, right? A 2-year-old, and I think a 5-year-old, but Andre will be helping me, so we'll see how it goes. I'm saving $19.43 on those short ribs. So that's not so bad. $5 tip, why not? So just for that little bit of meat products, is $89.69 with the delivery and the $5 tip. But only because I want a full canner when I do the salmon, and I like that blue cod. I haven't tasted it yet, but I know I'm gonna like it. I like the feel of it. I like the size of it. I like the way it fits in the jar. I think it's gonna be really, 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 really good. And I think it's gonna be really versatile too. Yeah. So I could redeem 10,000 points and take $10 off my bill, but I'm not going to. Oh, there's a step here. Okay. I haven't quite finished. I have to choose what I'm doing here. Yeah. So this, with Andre walking to school with or without friends, with these crazy fucking kids running around, these ones over here with that crazy woman, right, threatening to call the cops on Andre anytime and every time she sees him, as her son stands out on by the fence and looks for Andre riding his bike in our part of the side of the road, doing this and calling him Fireboy and this and N-word and recruiting his little friends. And Andre goes, it hasn't been to that complex for almost a month and a half, pushing on 2 months. I said, okay, Andre, go get Jude if you want. And he knocked on the door. As soon as he was knocked, that woman opened up her door. You better get out of here. If you don't get out of here, I'm calling the cops. But I already told Andre, all you have to do is just look at her, just whatever, let her say what she's got to say. Don't posture, don't say nothing. Let her say what she's got to say, and then just basically walk away, right? But of course, her son jumped in, her little 12-year-old, going on 13-year-old son, fuck you, Fireboy, and it's like, and this is the kid that Andre will be going to school with, as he's got his little friends ganging up on Andre. Not to mention the teenagers coming in and ganging up on the kids. Okay? And then you're banging on the door with these crazy fucking mothers that are feeding these kids methamphetamine and everything else that they can feed them, right? When get
What
them
are you talking about?
Talking, leave me alone. Them addicted to the drugs. You know, you calling the cops saying, get my daughter out, get my son out, get my grandchild out. They'll be like, no, how old are they? Well, they're 14. Well, no, we can't get them out because they're old enough to make their own decisions. Yeah, but don't you realize they're going around knuckling people with brass knuckles and knocking them out and well, we have to catch them first. Oh.
You're talking about Blake?
Yeah, that really bothers me.
Yeah, now I'm scared to go to the pool.
Well,
Because the pool is the high school where.
I know. But if you're with Jude together as a team, you just...
Jude's worried about Blake might be paralyzed because he did get hit in the head.
Oh my God, don't say that.
Or something.
Don't even say that. Now the kids are worried about Blake being paralyzed because they fucking knuckled him in the head to the point where they knocked him out. And now he's waking up kind of all slurry and dizzy and going back to sleep and like, what the hell? The boy is 13 years old, for crying out loud. And as for the pool, well, I don't know.
We can't even go on Sunday.
Jude's mom not letting him go, eh?
Sunday is family night. Family day.
I don't know. I don't know what to think.
And also Jude wants to just see his cousin.
Yeah, let him deal with that first.
Yeah. I said we can go in like next month.
Well, no, because I don't know. We'll just play it by ear.
Okay, well I'm gonna make myself some macaroni.
Okay, yeah, we'll just play it by ear.
But I sure hope Blake gets better.
Well, so do I.
I'm gonna be praying for him.
Yeah, you pray for him. I'm glad you feel that way. Andre offered that himself. Yeah. So he's coming into a spiritual awareness on his own. Because I don't push religion, right? I'm not a religious zealot. I never made my kids choose a religion because I went to a particular church and said you had to be like me, right? You know what I'm saying? No. Okay, so anyway, I'm just going to place this order and be done with it because after this, I'm done. Well, I don't know about the canner being put away because we've got maybe pears coming and I like using that canner, but then I wanted to try that other canner that I haven't used yet. I'm going to get Andre to kind of like be involved with that. We'll see. But when it comes to fish, that's it. I'm done. If I can see next year and I ate up a whole bunch within the last year, then we'll talk about it next year. When it comes to pork, no. I don't need it. I don't want it other than what I've got right now in terms of that, so I can render the fat and then grind it up and either freeze it or can it, but it looks like I'm going to can it after the fact of degreasing it 2 times, right? And I'll walk you through it because I bought the short ribs with the little bones that are going into the jar. I may or may not cook it in water first, maybe degrease it a bit, which would probably be a good idea because they look a little fatty. So in other words, you cut them up, put them in water, bring it to a boil, turn it off, let it cool, put it in the fridge. Anything that melted off through that process in terms of grease will come to the surface, scoop it off. Don't want it, you can use it for frying or chuck it out, whatever you want. And then heat up the pot with the liquid and then can. I like that method. I do. I really like, and I would do the same thing with the pork. And depending on how many jars I get in there, I might do a few jars of potatoes. Maybe. Just to get the potatoes off my mind. Which reminds me, I need to put them away. They're still sitting by my front door. Okay, I ordered that fish, people. I saved myself $19.43 with those short ribs. It's not anything that I have in the house, so no regrets. And once this is done, I'm done. For meats. I can only hope that my shit's not being thrown out downstairs for any stupid reason. Yeah. I pay good money for this crap. I've been paying good money for this crap. I've put in long hours because of this crap. You don't even know. And I shouldn't have to worry about it. And I'm trying not to worry about it. Okay. So if you like fish, I'd say go look for some blue cod. It's not a cod, quote unquote, but it's almost like a cod, but it's just a different fish with less mercury and more nutrients. So I'm going to end this video now because my phone call should be coming in. I'm surprised it hasn't come in yet. I don't know. What the hell? Maybe soon. Either or. This is it.